Hi, this is Art by Tierra Birds Parallel Line Series tutorial, and I'm coming to you to show you how to do parallel lines. So the first step is to spray the canvas lightly with misting water to create a wet environment so that the paint glides lightly. If you do not have a misting bottle, you can wet your paintbrush and wipe the canvas with your paintbrush. So I have my paint cup and my paintbrush, and I'll just wipe the canvas. So after we're done with that, then we start to paint. Now step 2, we are going to prime our canvas with gesso, or if you don't have gesso, you can use your background color. And so this is my background color. It's a green, like an olive green. And so with the canvas still wet, I'll gently glide the color. As you see, it gently glides, and it actually helps with not using a lot of your paint when you wet the canvas. So I've used just like a pea drop of paint, and it's already done with half of the canvas. I'm just going to put a little more paint on here, and then we'll be done with step 2. Now, there's no particular way that I'm painting this. I'm just going from side to side because this is just the background color. But if you choose to paint in a more subtle direction, you can. You actually can paint the background any way you want, but this is the simplest parallel lines tutorial. And if you want a expert class, then you can join my class for a small fee. And so you see here we have some light spots and some dark spots. I like this kind of contrast because it gives the background a different type of feel. And when you're starting off as an artist, you know, you want to just be able to feel what you're painting. And so it's not always about the neatness for me. It's just about getting my ideas flowing. So this is step 3, and with step 3 you're basically playing the waiting game, letting the paint dry. Now I would say give it 15 to 20 minutes because if it's a thin paint it should dry fast, and a fan always helps. So I will be back in 20 minutes. So we're back with step 3, and we're just going to touch the canvas gently to see if it is dry. And it is dry. It dried a little faster than I expected, maybe because we wet the canvas first. So now we're going to use the tape, and we're going to tape off the sections. And so with the tape, we basically put it vertical and horizontal. And so we'll be making a box shape And so this is how you start that. So now we are on step 5. So we start with this. And so we just do around about maybe 6 lines of tape. So that's 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. And then the last one is 6. So I have them like this, and I just fold them over to keep the tape in place. Now I change the direction of the canvas because it's easier for me to do it this way. And so we'll do 6 lines of tape the opposite way, because we want to make sure we get that pattern of the boxes. So that's 3. This is 4. This is 5. And then this is 6. And so again, we just push the tape over the back to make sure it stays in place. And you want to go over it with your hands to kind of like make sure it's nice and neat. Now, one thing I can say is that sometimes, well, a lot of times, the paint does seep through the tape. So I'm using dollar store tape, but if you know of another tape that you can use to kind of help the paint not go underneath, please let me know in the comments. But right now, this is the tape that I have. And so now we will start to step 6. Which is make sure all the tape is pressed down. So step 7, we're going to start to paint the inside of the squares. So I have 3 colors that I'm using. So we have a teal, we have a rose, and then we have a magenta. Right now, I'll start with the magenta. And then we'll do 2 of the squares with the same color. Now I'm doing a light wash for the purposes of the video, but if you want to make it a darker color, depending on the design that you have in mind, you can. But I'm doing a light wash. So that means, to me, that you will still see the background color. And that is the design I'm going for. Now I'll use the rose blush. Something about pink. I don't know. And so we'll do that for the next 2 boxes of squares. Now, like I said, we're just kind of doing a very light touch so that the background color can bleed through. But if you don't want the background color to bleed through, then you can go over it again and as many times as you like to make sure the background color is not showing. This usually takes around about maybe 6 to 7 minutes. So it's a really easy technique and it's fun to do with kids or beginners, people who have not really taken an art class. So now we have the third color, and this is turquoise, deep turquoise, in case you wanted to get the color. So I'll just wet my brush a little bit more, and then I'll start with this color. Okay, so we are done with step 7. Now step 8 is the waiting game. And so we will be waiting for 25 to 30 minutes again. This was a light coating, and so it shouldn't take long at all. So see you in a minute. So step 8 was to see if the paint was to let the paint dry. And now we're seeing that the paint is dry. We touched everything, no paint. And so now step 9 is to take the tape off very carefully, just to make sure you that all the paint is dry and you don't make a mess or make the colors kind of touch other colors. So what I do is I turn this around, and so the little flyaways that we had where we just pressed them down, I just simply just take them up like this. So you can see. And that makes it much easier to do. Okay, so now that we have the flyaways and we pulled them back off, we'll just start one by one. So we'll take this one out first, move this one, move this one. And it's just really easy to take it off. Take the tape off. So this is the finished product. And I think it looks really nice. Now, what I was trying to explain to you before was that sometimes the paint gets underneath, such as this. And so when this happens, what I normally like to do, if you like to have things perfect and you're a perfectionist, I'm not, but if you are, we do have some instructions for you. And so if I can get this tape to work, I can show you. So when that happens, all you have to do is put some tape right here because you want to preserve the lines. And so this is another one that the tape got through. And so now all you do is get your green color again. And you just paint over. Just paint over it. Now, because this is a lighter green, we're going to just put some water on there to make it light again. And so this is really perfect with the background because we have some darker spots and we have some lighter spots. And so it doesn't really look like we kind of messed up. But I mean, the reality is that sometimes as a painter, you will mess up. And so this is just pretty much how I try to clean up the littlest part of my mess. And so that is it. We are done. I'm still doing a little bit more, but we are officially done. And this is our last finishing touches. And you know what, I'm gonna just share something with you. Now, often I mess up often, especially because of the tape thing that I haven't really figured out what other tape I can use to stop from messing it up. But so right now, this is pretty much what I do. And so it kind of looks like a design, which I'm glad because I didn't expect to do that. But sometimes, like with art, it can look like a design. And so you never really feel like, oh, I messed up, I you know, it's not exactly how it is, because art is very objective, and it's really about how the person viewing it feels about it. And if you're selling it, it matters how you felt about it when you made it. And so that is pretty much it. We're done with the class. And so after you've kind of fixed it up and you tried to perfect the lines, you can put on a coating for it. And sometimes the coating makes the paint pop a little bit more and it makes it shine. But for this video, we will not be doing that. So step 10 is optional, and then step 11 is not. So I would like for you to take a picture of the your canvas after you finish the class and let me know how it went, and just show me things that I can perfect or things that you absolutely loved about the class. So thank you. See you guys next time. And remember, everyone is an artist, but it depends on how you view art. See you next time.